Doing live now. Okay, right now we're live. Guys, it's me, Muhammad Ali here, with Spencer Foreman, who is the founder of LaunchFlows. We will show you guys LaunchFlows in action before it ends. You know, today is the last day of the deal, so we wanted to make sure that you take advantage before either the price goes up like crazy or it never comes back. You never know for the same price ever. So let's see. Let's see if somebody joins and if they can hear our voice, everything is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. Let me know. Okay, so
Alright.
we'll see. Yeah, people are joining. If you can hear the voice properly, guys, let's know. Then we can go ahead. And looks like people are joining. Okay, all right.
Cool.
So
Hey,
yeah,
Mohammed, I have a question for you too. Because I'm going to do a live thing. I have my laptop down here. I can see. Do I see the people who are in the room, or do you only see
I
the
see.
people who
You
are in
can
the
see
room?
it yourself. Look on the I button. You should see how many people are joining right now.
I see that, but I mean, will I see the actual people if I click on that, or no?
If you click on that side.
Oh, there we go. I see Eli just commented. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Eli Bowman, I actually refunded LaunchFlows because I didn't think I would use it, but I'm having a FOMO. You should have a FOMO. Why should you buy? Well, this is what you're going to find out. Okay, let's do this. So what I'm going to do today, I want to clarify a couple things because, hey, I like controversy. I heard you talking the other day. I like to be the underdog.
Right.
LaunchFlows is a tool that does everything the other sales funnel plugins does, but they are frameworks. When you need a Swiss Army knife, you don't want to buy an entire kitchen full of appliances. When you want to have a hamburger from a takeout restaurant because you're hungry, you don't want to buy a McDonald's restaurant. When you have WooCommerce, you have the capability already and you need to make a product and you already have a checkout and some other things. WooCommerce is easily adapted with LaunchFlows to make the products do what you want using your favorite page builder without making you go through all of the hassle, quite frankly, hassle of a custom post type with custom flows and custom steps where you have to bake in all of your decisions to the custom thing. Now, some people have said, I prefer that. That's the way I want it because I want all this marketing automation and I want to use a very amazing product, but some of the other marketing automation products that are available through WooFunnels or CartFlows, I say no. I say, you want marketing automation, you have an independent plugin like WP Fusion, free or paid, that you can then connect your entire WordPress site, including the WooCommerce checkout, to your favorite CRM. Maybe it's Fluent, maybe it's ActiveCampaign, maybe it's MailChimp. That way, each of those products do their own best. Let's see, am I in the right camera there? Do their own best thing, like runners in a lane. If you make a choice for something like a WooFunnels and you use the automation built in, first of all, you're committing to, again, Damon and his team are amazing, but you're committing to marrying their team for your entire business. And second of all, you're limiting yourself with what you can do with the marketing automation because you're using their marketing automation instead of an independent CRM. So LaunchFlows follows the philosophy like Lego blocks. You get one Lego block that's blue and one that's green and one that's red. You snap it together the way you want. You don't necessarily limit yourself to buying only the Legos that snap together because anybody with children knows you've got a basement full of Lego blocks there after the kits are built. Right. And they can be creative with it. Okay, I'm going to show you right now how simple LaunchFlows is for that mentality to use with your favorite page builder, which, as you guys know, thanks to Mohammed, one of your members, he came up with a quick fix to the problem of why Oxygen wasn't working because it wasn't playing nice. So now you've got Gutenberg, which we're going to show today, and a list of other things at LaunchFlows. Let me actually share the screen. So we work with just about anything you want it to work with, but very lightweight. Okay, so let's see now. I'm sharing the screen. I love it. Terrific. Okay, so if you go to launchflows.com to documentation, you can see the current list of stuff that I've tested. This doesn't mean it's exclusive, but if you scroll down, Beaver Builder, Bricks, Divi, Elementor, Gutenberg, Cadence, Oxygen, Thrive, Zion, and a whole lot more. So I'm going to show you today why all of these other ones, even Elementor, which I recommend, are secondary because you can do everything you want to do live in the site with just the built-in Gutenberg and then wrap around it with whatever else is your page builder, which is so simple. So let's start with the basics. I'm going to go to a WordPress test site, which, yes, of course, I've already got it set up, but let's pretend we started up from scratch. Unlike these other framework plugins, LaunchFlows simply is one little tiny dashboard. So I deactivate it. Everything works as normal. You've got WooCommerce set up as it would be. You've got the WooCommerce products, and you've got, of course, native pages or posts or lessons. That's it. You'll notice there's no custom post type. We don't need that like you do with CartFlows or with WooFunnels. So if you are using WooCommerce and you want to add LaunchFlows, it's an option that doesn't change your fundamental site setup. It doesn't make you commit like a marriage to doing something a custom post type. You can already be using WooCommerce and add LaunchFlows. You can be using LaunchFlows and turn it off. No big deal. Nothing is going to break or change. Whereas if you commit yourself to using CartFlows or WooFunnels with all of their benefits, rightly so, you are committing to a relationship of a custom post type. That's a big difference. So first thing I recommend people do is they'll go ahead and turn on LaunchFlows. And this is, by the way, my big test site, so it's got like lots of other fun stuff you can see I'm playing with. When you turn it on, there's only one dashboard item, LaunchFlows itself. I'm going to show everybody what they should probably set up for their site. You want to probably turn on the redirect to checkout after adding any product to cart. Now, the only exception to that would be if you are running a site that has a traditional WooCommerce shop in it, and you'd like to preserve the normal behavior of the shop, which is this. If, for example, and I'm not necessarily using this, but if you're using out-of-the-box WooCommerce, there's a traditional shop, right? If you want to preserve the ability for somebody to shop for your products and click add to cart, but keep them on this page, or just add this to the cart where they stay on the page and then can click the shopping cart icon, then just simply do not use this option. If you use this option, then every single add to cart button, no matter where it is going to send this product right to the checkout, which would be useful if you were trying to do a sales funnel only model. So I'll turn this off for now. Next, disable all links back to single product pages. That happens when you add a product to a cart and then you go to the checkout. In the default WooCommerce checkout experience, you can click on the name of the product and it will take you back to the single product page, which again is not an advantageous thing to have in a sales funnel. The whole idea of a sales funnel is it's a funnel, right? Nothing goes backwards in a funnel. So
Right.
if you put them in the top and they've gone down 2 steps and they're at the checkout, you don't want them to be able to go back up. So that's one of the reasons that option is helpful. And I leave that on anyway, just because, hey, if you've already committed to checking it out, give me the money and then we can talk about a refund, okay? Hide free orders from admin and free order emails. This is useful for our instant registration feature, which allows you to use WooCommerce as a great way to onboard new users into your CRM or into your email capabilities. And it makes it so that when you do a free registration, that inside the person's My Account area, they, as the non-administrator, will not see any order for $0 stuff. Now you'll notice here, watch this, see, 59, 59, 59. If I were to turn this option off, the person would see all of those, if I have any here, they will see all their free registration orders. Let's see if I got some in here from previous attempts. I'm going to refresh the page. You'll have to ignore the speed. The speed has more to do with my internet connection today while I'm on the video than anything.
Right.
Come on, WooCommerce, you can do it. There we go. See how this says $0? This was a free registration. When I click that button or checkbox, they don't see that kind of stuff. So it means as the administrator, you get the power of a free instant registration and onboarding capability, but the users aren't distracted with, Spencer just ordered a free product to register for your site. Similarly, you can hide the free orders from the administrator so that I, as the administrator, when I look at my orders page, oh, what I noticed is I'm only sharing one window. Hold on. You know what, let me change my sharing because I'm sharing apparently just, no, I'm sharing it. Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah.
So here you'll notice in my orders as the administrator, I can now filter which orders that I see when I have that option enabled. So in other words, I don't have to just be looking, hold on one second. I don't have to be just looking at the orders that are paid or free. I can choose between them. So in other words, hide all free orders from admin buyer. When I turn it on and I go as the admin to the orders area, watch what I get. I refresh the page and now I get a new filter. I want to show the free orders or hide them. So as the administrator, I don't have to be distracted by looking at like 100 registrations for free. But if I want to look at seeing who registered, I now have this capability, and this will show all the free registrations, okay? Next, there's this one, which is disabling the free order emails, which is kind of similar to the first one. If somebody registers for free, why bother sending them an email that says, hey man, you just paid $0 for your free registration? So it just turns it off. Okay, finally, this one I'll come back to, but the last one, using the email for username, super important. When you're doing marketing automation, especially, instead of having those funny usernames like bob.smith, you can instead have the real email be used by default for the account name, okay? And that becomes very important because when you're trying to keep track of customers and so on and so forth, having their real email is a way to prevent people from doing really devious stuff. You know how there's like spammers will come in and they'll register for free, or people will come in and waste your time. Well, they have to be real clever, because even though it's true they could use a fake email, the chances are good that most people are not going to bother with that. They'll give you the real email the first time, and now you can match up, in most cases, the person who's registering versus them just making some funny name like, you know, fake dot somebody. So it's a nice little feature. It's not a big deal, but it's one of those things that we've developed over time. And then finally, solo checkout for all products, this last one. This is really cool if you want to have a pure sales funnel. No matter which product they buy, you can only buy one at a time. So this is a perfect nuclear option for anybody who's got a shop where people waste their time by loading up the cart and then disappearing. This means that the last thing they put in the cart is the thing that they can buy, but they can only buy it by itself. I very rarely use this because you can use the same feature on a per product basis. Okay. That's all there is to set up. Now, these other ones here, these three are useful. If you want to change the wording of every checkout button from the default of place order into something else like buy now, you can do it here, and it will by default say that for every button by default. If you want to change the add to cart button so that instead of saying add to cart, it says, you know, add to checkout, you can do it here in addition to in each individual product, but this is a global option. And finally, this allows you, if you have a theme that does not have a container like the Astra or Cadence, if your theme by default spreads everything out to the sides, you can limit the maximum width, even before you use a page builder, of how wide your content will be for your LaunchFlows checkout. So just a handy kind of protection level if you have a uncooperative theme. That's all the setup there is. That probably, if you don't listen to me blabbing, checking these 4 boxes will take you, what, 30 seconds, right? Now let's talk about what we need to actually sell stuff. We just need 1, 2, 3. We need a product. So in this particular case, we can create any kind of product we want natively. That is far, 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 far different than what has to happen in CartFlows and WooFunnels, where you have to create a product, but you have to then put the product into a particular checkout. Here, we just create the product, and then the products contain their own instructions about where and how you want to sell them, but not in a way that limits you. So for example, I created 2 products here for our today, a Yoga Basic and a Yoga Premium. These could be subscription. They could be simple, grouped, external, variable. If I turned on the subscription plugin, they could be subscription variable, subscription simple, subscription one time. So any kind of product is usable with LaunchFlows. You can say if it's virtual and downloadable, and all the controls are just normal WooCommerce. You don't have to do anything special outside of it. What you want to do is 2 things. I'm going to show you the automation as well as the LaunchFlows part. LaunchFlows lets you tell a product where should the person, the buyer, be taken after they add this to the cart. In this case, for most people, it's going to be to your checkout page. Now, this could be either your global checkout page, or it could be your custom checkout page that you've made just for the sales funnel. It takes only 2 seconds, so it's just as easy to make your own. You can choose from a dropdown. So here I'll just type the word checkout, and I can choose from a variety of custom layouts that I've made for various purposes. The next option is, Where do you want to send somebody after this product has been purchased? Post checkout. In most cases, you'll create a thank you page that can either be your global thank you page or specific to this product. But in some cases, what if you want to do another upsell after the checkout? Simply make an upsell page, add a product, and then take the people from the first basic sale product to the product page for the upsell. So it's like a daisy chain. First, you add it to the cart and you take them to the checkout. After they check out this product, they're taken to the upsell page. When I set up the product for the upsell, I'll then probably say, after that's checked out, then take me to the thank you page. Okay. But for right now, I'll keep it simple and just say, I'm going to take them to the basic thank you page. What if I wanted to have 100 different products that all shared the same thank you page, but I wanted a different link for everybody who goes to the thank you to take them to whatever they just bought? So let's say this basic yoga is a course. I can create the actual link here if I chose a course that exists, and then I use this short code for the button that I put on the global thank you. When I use this as the link button, it will know that this particular product was just purchased, and it will use the URL of the course on that button. In other words, one thank you page with one global button can direct people to hundreds of different specific courses or other products or other outside services because it's programmed to know that this particular product was just purchased. This one is hugely time saving because one of our clients was using CartFlows and they had to make a unique flow for over 300 video products that they sold. There was no other way to do it. Now, I think actually Sujay saw what I did here, and I think he actually put this feature into CartFlows, which was very gratifying to me. But this is one of the first things that we added to make this a better product in some ways than what they were doing. Okay, let's talk about these other ones. With any product, I can make it an instant registration. And I've shown this with you in our first video. If I don't want to register people like through the normal WordPress messy system, and I don't want to use my CRM's registration form or Gravity forms, I can just use a free WooCommerce product, check this box, and it makes a very, very attractive registration form that takes whatever fields I want to ask. Usually I only ask for email, first and last name. But you're essentially, like I just talked about, making a product transaction into what looks like a very simple and elegant registration so that you don't have to have extra plugins. Why go to the trouble of adding a whole extra plugin to onboard a user to your site or to your CRM? You can just do it here. Solo checkout. This is a powerful feature that's an extension of what I just showed you for the global option. Let's say this is an upsell product and you don't want it to be sold with anything else that might have accidentally been added to the shopping cart. Or you want it in a daisy chain. Somebody's already picked something first, but you want to say, but wait, I've got a better choice for you. When you check this option, this product will kick out any other products that are in the cart before it. So it acts like a clear the cart mechanism. Instant sales page. This one I love the most. If you look at a normal sales page, for WooCommerce, it's usually typically fine, but look at all the fluff. You've got this breadcrumb, you've got all this kind of crazy category stuff, you got related products. It's a mess. Watch what happens. If I just take the product and I check instant sales page, even before I customize it, which I could, all I got to do is refresh the page, and now look at how clean this is. Ta-da! Now it's just focused on the product. And again, I can further customize this if I want by simply editing the product either natively in Gutenberg or with Elementor or whatever to make it look like I want. And there are tons of plugins for free that will let you edit this further. Okay? Next is, let's go back over here, instant branding. This is one that I don't use that much, but it's a clever trick. Let's say you're running a digital deal site like DigitalThink, and you have JV partners or affiliates, and you want to give each of them a custom product sales page. Well, guess what you can do? You just simply make one product for your partner. You put their logo in the product image, and you put their name in the title. Now, all you need to do is use this product in the top of any checkout page. Ta-da! The entire checkout page becomes a branded experience for them. It looks like it's their particular website. And the way you can even further make it better is the checkout URL can be customized to their name. So you can give them a URL like launchflows.com/digitalthink-checkout. It'll show your name, your brand, and your URL, and you didn't have to do anything with extra software. Hide the free price. This is when you're using things like this, where you want to do bundle deals. Now, you had asked me, and you had attempted, I appreciated your enthusiasm, you had attempted to use this demonstration on your own without talking to me first, and then I had to explain to you.
Right.
In order to show that you can do bundles, I put together this simple example of where, notice what happens. I pick a bundle, and it means I could get 4 choices. If I add a choice, I don't want that to say 0. So notice the berry. Because I've said that the berry product is just an included type product, I can make this word say whatever I want, but that would be different if it said $0. If I had apricot, it would look ridiculous if it said $18 plus 0000. So instead, when I choose this option, it simply hides the free price and replaces it with a word. Now, in answer to your other thing, you had said to me, Spence, how come it doesn't prevent me from adding more than 4 things? Well, there are free plugins that work with WooCommerce. And as I've said to you and your buyers before, there's no reason for me to reinvent the wheel where we've already got this existing. So you can use any number of free products that are called basically limit by product in the cart. So if you type in like WooCommerce, there's maybe a half a dozen of these, and I showed you here, min-max quantities, and this was a good one. I showed you another one, but all of these do the same essential thing, and they're free. They know which products are in the cart. So you can say, if a certain number of certain product is in the cart, don't allow any more in there. You just add the free plugin. It's a 5-star. Look at this, 135 5 stars. Add this plugin, use it with this example, ta-da. Now, the reason this is important to me, unlike CardFlows and unlike WooFunnels, I do not believe it's a good idea for me to add in features that already exist for free elsewhere. That is just a silly waste of resources, because there's some developer here, B-Rocket, who spends every waking moment making this free plugin awesome. Why should I recreate that and then be responsible for having to be as smart as this person is when they've got all these people already using it, 10,000 people with 5-star rating, right?
Right.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Only one variation. This is useful in the case of you have a checkout, and instead of being a simple product, you have a variable product. Now, a variable product means something like you typically see with clothing. You have a shirt you want to buy, and it has the attribute of size, color, and maybe fabric. Each of those attributes is essentially a potential variation, right? I'm going to get the large in cotton in the color green.
Right.
What happens if you want to use the feature of LaunchFlows that lets you very quickly offer a choice of this or that or that? Well, you can do it in 2 seconds with our LF bump widget or shortcode. But in order to make sure that you can choose not all of those choices, you want to choose this option for those products. In doing so, any of those 3 LF bumps will be either this or that or the other one, not all of them. So you can have this really neat capability of selectively making it possible where, well, what if you can choose these 2 and this one, or these 2 or this one? Just by choosing the checkbox on the products, it's very simple to make it work. Okay.
Right.
And then force thank you. I get a question about this all the time. Out of the box, you have a default thank you page. So if you go to WooCommerce, you can set your global thank you page for LaunchFlows under WooCommerce settings. And you simply go to the bottom here and it says, what's your default thank you page? And you'll notice it's the same thing I chose before. Now, if you have only one product in the checkout, it will use the thank you page that you choose here. However, what if you have 2 products that are purchased at the same time? Well, in order to prevent one from beating the other, the default behavior would be that it would use the global thank you page instead. But what if you really, really, really wanted one product to always be the one that wins? Well, that's when you use this option. So if I want to really, really, really make sure the Yoga Basic thank you page, which I customized for a certain sale, is the one used, I choose this on only one product. And if it's the only one in the product checkout with the checkbox on, then this thank you page choice will win over whatever else is being purchased. And if you accidentally choose 2 or more of them, well, guess what? It just defaults back to the global thank you. So that's as simple as it is. Anything you program into a product here will be then shown in the DNA of the direct checkout link. So this direct checkout link is the most simple and powerful feature of LaunchFlows. If you do nothing else with this, this is the reason to spend the $199 or the $50, because just by configuring your products, you now have something that will automatically, no matter where you use it, send that particular product to that checkout with those parameters ready to buy. And let's do this again, because what we'll do is let's empty this cart and watch what happens. Pretending I clicked that button from a Facebook ad or something. Ta-da! Did you notice it took me to this checkout, which could be a custom URL, with this product and this quantity ready to buy? If I change any of the parameters, it changes automatically for me. So this becomes the universal way of programming a product to do anything you want, no matter where you sell it. And as I say, it's a simple URL, so you can put it on any kind of a button or a link or a forwarding, anything. It's very flexible and doesn't lock you into having to put them into a custom flow or a step or anything else. Okay, now let's talk about Autonomy, which is a very awesome product. Damon and his team have built an amazing product. But just because that's awesome doesn't mean you should use it compared to what I'm suggesting. I have a better selection, WP Fusion. I've worked with Jack Arturo now for years, and you can find me if you go to WP Fusion under Get Help, go to free consultation, and there'll be me like, hey, it's Spence. Now, WP Fusion has a free product and a paid product. I recommend everybody try the paid product because you can then connect any of your favorite CRMs. Over 50 of them are available to connect. So let's actually for a second show you. He used to have, let's see on the home page here. Here you go. These are all the things that WP Fusion connects. And it goes on and on and on and on. Now, why is this awesome? Jack wakes up in the morning, eats, breathes, and then goes to bed at night thinking about connecting all the various things in WordPress and the CRM world together. By using WP Fusion, you have built-in integrations to all of these products in their actual configuration menus so that you can do automation. That does not occur with Autonomy. Autonomy has put the burden on Damon and his team to basically try to catch up to what Jack is doing here and then manage all of that on top of all the sales funnel stuff. I think that's amazing as far as his energy level. I would not do that for $1 million. Instead, I'm using the WP Fusion, which Jack has built up over these years, and I've had some participation in helping him see where it could work out. And I'm going to use this instead. When I buy this product, I want to add a tag. Maybe I'm going to give the tag of, I don't know, pink tag. This pink tag works with my favorite CRM. I'm using Fluent CRM. So if somebody bought this product, they will get a pink tag. They will also be automatically registered, logged into the WordPress system, and added to my Fluent CRM as a contact. Now, if they refund this product, let's say this was even a subscription product, they stopped paying, I can give them a different tag that says they refunded it. So I don't have that made here, but if I were to make it, it would be like refunded, pink tag. So I can always know exactly what somebody has done with the WP Fusion. And then here's how that's helpful. What if I want to give access to a course or a particular video or something on my site? Well, with WP Fusion, it works with all the popular tools. So let's say, for example, I don't have it turned on with LearnDash, but let's just say I have a page and I've got a video that's members only. With WP Fusion, I simply go to the meta box and I just turn it on and I say, you need to have the pink tag. You can't see this content unless you do. And if you don't have it, I can either redirect you to an outside URL or redirect you to another page. So as simple as that, I've got a system whereby without having LaunchFlows do all this, I use a better plugin along with the favorite CRM, and I'm not indebted to one plugin for my entire business, which again, arguably some people might say, I want one plugin for my whole business. And I think that's a good choice if that's your conscious decision. I say it's better to have the special plugins that do their best job and the universality. And finally, if I look in Fluent CRM, there are 2 plugins that work inside of the WordPress space now, other than the normal SaaS CRMs. And a SaaS CRM is a hosted service, you know, Salesforce, Entreport, Drip, HubSpot, MailChimp. CRM plugins, there's Groundhog, which is Adrian Toby, and there's Fluent CRM, which is Shahjahan Jewel and his team. I really, 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 really like what both of them are doing. In this case, I'm showing Fluent, and here we've got the contacts. And if I looked at any particular contact, maybe my own profile, we can see, oh, they've got the pink tag. Well, this means that now I can create the same amazingly powerful automation of what happens after the tag is applied. So all I do is say, you know, automation after buying basic yoga or something. Now I say CRM, and I say tag is applied, and it asks me which tag is it that was applied. Okay, no problem. I'm going to say pink tag. Remember the one I just bought. Now what's going to happen? Okay, let's say I'm going to go ahead and send out an email. Okay, all these tools that you got are all available. I'm not going to do this whole thing. And then I could do something like wait 3 days and so on and so forth. And all of these amazing things are very mature, but here's the difference. You don't need to be locked into just WooCommerce to use this. This works for every one of the other features of the plugins that are installed in your site, as well as outside things with webhooks. So I prefer this, and that's how LaunchFlows gets all the same things done without having to charge you a premium. And when you connect this to Amazon SES for SMTP service, you're going to pay like a couple dollars a month to send out tens of thousands of emails. It's really awesome. Okay, now let's talk about the actual site itself. So I've set up a product or two. I've shown you the options. I've shown you the automation. Now let's talk about checkouts. Out of the box, any page can be a checkout. You don't need to do a custom checkout with LaunchFlows. So remember I told you, let's do a DigitalThink checkout. Okay, DigitalThink checkout. I don't know if you like it with 2 words or not, but here's the reason I'm doing it. Give it a custom URL, choose the page attribute of LaunchFlows full width or canvas. Canvas does not show the header of the theme underneath. LaunchFlows does. I'm going to show it in this case because I've got the nice theme already with Cadence. I publish it. Guess what? I've now got a custom checkout page. Watch what happens. It's just a plain Jane out of the box WooCommerce checkout page. And notice, remember I said we can adjust the layout. Remember how, you know, Cadence doesn't have that frame. I'm going to go ahead and set that LaunchFlows option that I told you about, just because I'm not designing anything custom, so that I can say, yeah, you know what? I only want the checkout to be 90% of a layout, because, you know, I'm not doing any customizing here. So when I refresh the page now, let me close a couple pages so I don't have too many checkouts. And by the way, I'm not talking this fast for fun. I'm talking this fast so that you guys can get as much as possible in the time we have. Now when I refresh the page, see how it's nice and clean? Yeah. Okay. This DigitalThink checkout is now basically yours. I can use this if you're my partner, your JV partner, you're my affiliate partner, so that when people go to buy any of the products that I want you to get credit for, can not only give you credit through, you know, affiliate WP, but I can also have it that they get sold on a custom page, which if I want, I can customize to make it say things about you with your brand and so forth. So it's super, super easy because I'm just using a regular page to build any kind of an experience you want. Now, I can take it further. Here's an option with LaunchFlows that lets me customize the Buy Now button. Remember how I said that you can have a global change of the place order and make it say something else? I can also do it on a per checkout page basis. So buy this DigitalThink deal now. This is an amazingly powerful and simple way to do your JV partnerships. Watch it, what happens now when I look at this checkout page. The button is got the custom thing on there. Now, this isn't really a big deal. I mean, this is not that hard to do on its own with other methods with WooCommerce, but we've just put it all into one lightweight Swiss Army knife. The point is like, do you need to set up a whole framework of stuff to accomplish this? I don't think so. Do you need to pay 3-4 times as much to get all the stuff you don't need? I don't think so. Now, what if you want to customize the layout? Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it natively in Gutenberg, which I'm going to show you, where you would just switch to the block editor. I'm using that classic editor switcher so I can choose, or you can use your own favorite page builder. So if you're using Elementor or Divi or Oxygen or whatever. Just choose one of those page builders. I'll just show you a quick sneak peek with Elementor, and then I'll show you Gutenberg. And then just put in the layout you want. So typically a 2-column layout. Elementor has its own custom widgets. All the other ones use shortcodes. But I would just type LaunchFlows. And for example, let's say I wanted to put the billing at the top and I wanted to put the payment. I'm not going to do all these. I just move the pieces around where I want them to be. Now, if I only choose a couple of the checkout component pieces, the other ones that I don't choose will remain at the bottom of the layout. So what you'll see here is an example of how all the pieces of the checkout will still be there, but the billing and the order review will be moved to the top. So let's see what happens here. I save the page and refresh it. Now watch what happens. And you'll see how the billing is here and the order review is here, but the other stuff is still at the bottom. And just to prove my point, let's change it and we'll put the payment at the top. So if we put the payment above the billing with the widget, it'll now move from the bottom right to the top left when I refresh the page. See? So couldn't be any easier, because now you can inject all your own custom stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe you want to put an image in and, so on and so forth. You can make your own design with your favorite page builder or with Gutenberg. Now, here's what's really cool. We can also sell products in this checkout. So if I go back over here to the products we created, let's show you a couple of those powerful widgets. I just go to the products that, again, we already have to have for WooCommerce. All we need is the ID number, and we want to make sure that they're going to the proper checkout URL. So remember, this is DigitalThink checkout. So let's go to the Yoga Basic, and I'm just going to modify this, and I'm going to make sure that this gets sent to the proper checkout when you buy it. So I'm going to type DigitalThink checkout. So now I know this will go where it wants to. And now what I'm going to do is just take the ID of that product so that I can put it on the page as an instant order bump. So the ID of the product is either at the top of the page here, 48503, or you can just look at the list of all products, which is easier, and just copy it from here. So now I'm going to go to my layout here. Let's get rid of this image thing because we probably don't need that. And I'm going to put in the order bump widget. So I put in LaunchFlows, order bump, put the widget at the top of the page. I paste in the ID of the product. Ta-da! I've now got a way for somebody who comes to the DigitalThink to choose from one or more products and instantly add them to the checkout. Watch what happens. I simply click this to remove it because it was already in there. It's gone. I click this to add it, and now it's in there. I remove it, I add it. I can have more than one product in here. So let's go back and change the premium product, 48546. And let's also make sure that it knows which checkout page it should go to. So we're going to use DigitalThink and save it. And again, let's get that ID of this. So we're going to put another widget in place. So it's 48546. All I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply right click, duplicate this. And again, I can do this with any page builder. Elementor's widgets are nice, but I'll show you Gutenberg is just as handy. So now I've got a choice, premium or basic. But remember, we talked about the idea that you probably don't want somebody to buy both of them together, but you could. Let's first try it where you can buy both of them. So here, when you see it, we've got both choices available. I can add the basic, and then I can also add the premium. Now, what if I didn't want that to happen? Maybe I want it to be one or the other. Maybe what I'm going to do is click on the premium. I'm going to go to styling, or maybe I'll go to advanced, and I'm going to say, let's make this obviously an order bump kind of a deal, right? So I'm going to do one of those big dash things. I'm going to make a big color red. I'm going to say the width of the border is 5 pixels. And if I want, I can even use the built-in capabilities here where you can say a title like, but wait, this instead. Okay, see how fast this is? I'm not messing around here. Now let's set up the premium product so that it is what is called, remember, solo checkout. So I go to solo checkout, I choose this option, I save it. Notice I'm not setting up flows or steps or anything. Let's look at our checkout now. Let's clear the cart. And by the way, we have a widget that you can add that lets somebody clear the whole cart with one button. If I add the basic product and then I go, oh, wait, I want this instead, this will kick out the basic product, and notice that all that's in the cart is Yoga Premium. If I switch over, it will replace it. If I go back, it's one or the other. So one of the things that I like to do here is to choose the styling that reflects that this is a choice of either or. So what I would do is probably change it to, instead of being a square, let's change the style to a circle just by choosing that option. And that way people understand that it's a choice of either or, because that's what radio buttons usually are. Okay, so now you understand it's either this or that. Now let me show you another trick. What if I wanted to make it that when you came to this page, instead of it being that you have a choice of this or that product, that the product you wanted people to buy was always in the checkout? I'm going to take this ID, I'm going to remove this widget, and I'm instead going to put in the always in checkout widget. So LaunchFlows, always in. It's very similar. I simply put in the ID of the product. And in this case, if I want, I could hide some of the components. Like if I don't want to show the little shopping cart icon, I could just hide that. Now what's going to happen is no matter what happens, when they come to this page, you can't get rid of that product. So watch what happens. I try to delete it, and it always is there. Now, why is that important? Well, what I'm trying to show you is that we can set up one other thing, by the way, too. In the order review, let's hide the product remove links, because we don't want people to think they can remove it when they can't. This is the perfect way for a joint venture to sell a branded partner website product. You simply set up the DigitalThink or whatever the other partner's page is as a checkout. You add a product that goes to that page, and you make that product always in the checkout. Now, no matter what, if somebody gives out this link, that particular product for that particular partner is always available, and that's what is shown. Watch what happens when I go incognito. It loads that product by default, ready to buy. It's super fast, super easy, super lightweight, because as you noticed, I didn't have to do anything else. Now, what if we want to do a traditional upsell that looks like an upsell? You can do it on a separate page, or you can do it here in the widgets. Same idea, widget or short code. Let's delete this, and we're going to add in the upsell widget. So LaunchFlows, upsell. We drag it in place. We put in the product ID, which is 48503. And then we can change some of the text if we want, right? Instead of yes, I want it, I'm like, yeah, baby. Okay. So out of the box, it gives you all the style and everything you need for a traditional looking upsell, which by the way, if you want, you can do the same kind of cool stuff with like, you know, putting a border around it or whatever you want to do to make it look pretty. This will take whatever your upsell product is and add it to the checkout. But if they choose no thank you, it will take them to the alternative. It also gives you the ability to add custom tags for marketing automation based on whether they chose yes or no. That way you can track whether somebody has seen this product before. And let's say, for example, they say no. You can automatically with WP Fusion apply a discount of 20 or 30 or whatever percentage so that the next time you try to sell this again, they'll see a discount and you can have a message that's like, hey, I know you said no last time, but what if I gave you 20% off? And all you have to do is drop a widget in place and add this in. Let's look at this checkout now. Ta-da. If I add this to the cart, I mean, it's already in there because it's locked in. Ta-da. So these are the ways that we do what we got to do. And these work on any page. So just to prove a point, let's say we did a separate page that was an upsell that was in the chain of, let's say, a checkout flow. So in other words, you had somebody who buys a product, and then instead of the thank you, we're going to call this a post-checkout upsell. Obviously, you wouldn't call it that. All we need to do is either use the short code, or we can use edit with Elementor. Here, I'm going to use the short code. So you could go to launchflows.com documentation and just copy the syntax from either the instruction page of the upsell or here in the short codes. And all you do is just change the product ID. So here we go down to upsell. I'm going to copy this out. And I'm going to paste it in this page. Remember, even without using Gutenberg, remember I said you just do 48503. Now I'm going to have a very pretty page that if I wanted to style further, I could, but this is the intermediary page for the upsell. So now if somebody clicks this, maybe they came from the main product checkout to here. If they want it, it's going to send them to the new custom checkout page ready to buy. Ta-da. Now I could go on and on and on and on and on and on, but I think I've showed you really how fast and simple this is. And now let me show you lastly, remember we talked about how you can use any page builder. I highly, highly recommend that somebody just use the block editor of Gutenberg, even if you love Elementor and stuff, because this is where we're going. Here I did an example video that I showed using the same thing I just did with Elementor, but I did it with blocks. So here I use the tab block widget, or the tabbed block, not tab block widget. Here I use the save credit card. Everything you need to do is available as a short code that you copy paste. And then you're using a free plugin that is called, I always forget the name of it for a second. Hold on, the extras. Hold on, let me get that again. The name of the plugin is Editor Plus. So Editor Plus gives you these neat controls like I was showing in the other video. So if I want to have this, like I was saying before, with a big dashed border, no problem. I just put this on, put 5, make it red, just like I did with Elementor. And I get all the same styling benefits, but now it's in Gutenberg. Super fast. And if I'm using something like Oxygen, it's really important because by doing it this way, now I'm able to customize the entire site or the checkout page and wrap it around, or have it be wrapped with whatever the default, page editor is. Okay, I'm ready for questions if there are any. Derek had asked, is this just for WP sites or will it work on Webflow? It's just for WordPress sites. This is a WooCommerce add-on for websites that are built on WordPress. That's it. What about it? Mohammed, do you have other questions, or let's see if I go back here if I can still see you.
Sure, I'm here.
There. Okay, good. Did that cover most of it? If you want, I can cover some other topics and so forth, but that's like, I want people to understand, other than me talking about the setup is just choose those 4 things in our quick start guide, check, check, check. Right. Make a product, make a checkout page, you're done. Then on the checkout page or extra pages, just put the widgets in place with the product IDs and daisy chain things together. Right. Using marketing automation, using your CRM, you could track the behavior, follow up, ta-da. And now you can swap in and out different CRMs, or for a client, you can build everything in one site and then copy that site, which by the way, you cannot do if you use Autonomy. You can use Fluent CRM for free, with WP Fusion for free, with LaunchFlows, make a prototype and then copy that site for your clients. It'll be fully functional without them having to be signed up for a subscription to, WooFunnels or Cartflows or anything else.
Good. Any other questions? Somebody's saying, I want to buy and give it a try, but DigitalThink.io register doesn't work.
Hold on, Mehmet, I don't know how to say that thing with the Kochali says DigitalThink.io register login doesn't work, but that's another question for you.
That's a question for me. So let me see. Just go to sign up and register. It should be straightforward. I don't see any issues with it right now.
If you guys have any other questions as a follow-up, I encourage everybody to go over to our LaunchFlows group in Facebook. Obviously, you could go in DigitalThink, right, but we've got so much content from everything I've done in LaunchFlows. In addition, we've already got, I'll show you my screen again. We've already got a bunch of free things set up for you to experience this with. So, for example, at launchflows.com, you can use the free trial to experience this for yourself. Or you can go to more info and go to our quick start videos, which exemplify all the things from the home page. There's 5 videos that show how this works, plus a couple bonuses. If you go to facebook.com/groups/launchflows, you will get a ton of amazing content for free. Hopefully this doesn't blow up my site while I'm on the video. Okay. Check out this. And you can also email me at help@launchflows.com, because basically I am the guy who's in charge of marketing it, selling it, creating it, modifying it. As your actual buyers have seen, When somebody has a suggestion for me about a feature or about something doesn't work, or like this oxygen thing, I'm going to be brutally honest about why I will do or not do certain things. But if somebody needs something done and they've got a good reason for it, magically it happens that fast. And I'm not saying that Damon doesn't do that or that the Sujay doesn't do that, but nobody does it as fast as me because I'm doing basically both of the tasks. I'm the person creating it, marketing it, doing the promotion and the psychology of it, and I'm not relying on a team of other developers. So as far as like the personal support, this is a adjunct to what I do for my living, which is at wplaunchify.com, and my other consultative services like working with Jack at WP Fusion and so forth.
Okay, so that's good. Any other questions? So if you're having problem with the website, just message me. I'm gonna have to find out what's going on. But so far, I just tested it. Everything looks fine. In fact, people are buying it like as we speak, and it's working fine. I haven't seen any issues.
When is the sale over? I think it's over in a day, right?
Yeah, in a day. So everybody, take advantage of it. I can see. Yeah, everything looks okay. We were here while we were here. People are buying it. So if there is any problem,
okay, good. And one other question that had come up, we've addressed it before, but I just will say it because I had a video or two about it today. Because of what I just showed you and how Gutenberg has really crossed the threshold of usability, right. Gutenberg has so many free blocks and templates and components and everything. I have two things that you can know about. First of all is probably this week, maybe the next day or so, you'll know from me that we've actually had a whole bunch of like really clever things created. But even out of the box, just right now, I might as well share the screen one last time. Just use the stuff that's available for free like I did here. So I did a video about this yesterday, but what I showed was if I'm using my, like I'm doing here, if I'm using Gutenberg, make my site, instead of wasting a bunch of time trying to say, oh, this template, that template, that's nonsense. Just install the starter template for Cadence, if you're using a Cadence, or starter templates for everything else. And when you do, you're immediately given this ridiculous library for whatever page builder you want. Like I'm going to switch to Gutenberg. Look at this library of stuff that's already available here for free to start with. So what I showed in this video was I just picked one of these things. I picked this one, and I used that to make my home page here. And in doing so, I can modify it by adding in any number of ridiculous blocks. You see, tools that grow your yoga skill. If I click edit page, all I do is go up here, and this is with no other plugins. I can choose from a ridiculous array of things that I can stick in place. So I click to design library for Cadence. Look at all these section pieces here when it loads. I mean, come on, man. Like, what do you want me to do? Give you an encyclopedia of 8 billion things? I mean, all you need to do is pick one of the existing template pages. Like in this one, if I was going to do the sales page, right? Choose this one, the course page, right? It literally has everything you need, and just change the words from course to the name of your product. Or, if you want to do your whole shop, or you want to do your home sales page, just pick from one of the pieces of an existing starter, and everything you need just pops out ready to use, and ta-da, and that's it. So I don't want to be kind of like too obvious about this, but what bothers me is that I can only show like the forest for the trees so many times before I feel like I'm just shouting to myself.
Right.
LaunchFlows is a fraction of the cost, all of the features and power, less complications, works with other best-in-class software to make a complete Lego set. And while there's nothing wrong, in fact, I admire both of the other products that we're talking about, CartFlows and MoveFunnels, developers and teams. They are completely different commitments. You are getting married to those frameworks when you build them. And if you want to do clever stuff for your clients have to have a whole nother layer too. So that's it.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much for providing so much value. That was a very productive 1 hour. I hope you guys take advantage. I'm going to actually upload this on YouTube and then share with you guys again. And
sounds good. Share with me. Anybody who wants to ask questions. Enjoy the last days, hours, whatever. Is it days or hours? Something of the sale. The retail price, by the way, of LaunchFlows for the LTD is $300. Right. So high five to Muhammad for your benefit that he's essentially sucked it up
Yeah.
and taken a gigantic discount to share that value with you, because at $199, this is a ridiculous value. I was really surprised when you and I first talked that you're willing to do that.
Right.
But on the same token, you've proven that you've got people that understand a value. And since this is not likely to go down in price, because I wanted to share with people who don't know, when I launched LaunchFlows, the first idea it started was at 97. And then I told people, it's on record, that it's going to go up in price, probably to $300. And it did. It went 97, 147, 197, two something. Then it was at $300 for unlimited use 1 year.
Right. 1 year.
Now it's $300 for lifetime with the 2 years of support, which I've explained to people. That's because you only need 20 minutes of support once you're using it. You don't need to be taught for lifetime what to fix. And my development support is what I'm showing you and constantly showing you here. I'm not leaving. I'll keep building and fixing the product, but you don't need a promise of 5 years of lifetime support in order to make this a valuable deal.
Right. Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions?
Thanks, Mohammed.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. We'll talk.
See you guys. Bye.